enlighten us on the issues related to raw material for deep rollers used in the steel sector.
Thank you, sir. I will try to stick to the time limit to ensure everybody's time is not utilized, including our honorable minister, who is fortunately from our own state. We are very happy to see this initiative taken by the Steel Ministry. At the outset, please allow me to thank the Ministry for organizing such a wonderful conference. And this has been possible only because of the personal initiative and inspiration of our Chief Minister, R.P. Singh. So once again, a thank goes to him. And I also thank Minister Bhanu Prasad Singh Verma and Ministry Sahab for attending this conference, and also all the delegates who have come from all over India. The steel industry in India has really grown in the leaps and bounds, and it will become the second largest producer, rightly so, because we also have the second largest population and market in the world. And as pointed out earlier by other delegates, local availability of iron ore and coal is a big advantage, and if we use it properly, we can not only meet the entire demand of present but also future, and also become a exporter. So quality and regular supply of coal is a major challenge. Also, from the point of view of Eastern India, till 1992 we followed a policy of trade liberalization, because of which some clusters of steel developed in areas in which it was not really economically viable. So since the trade liberalization policy has been implemented, I think there has been exponential growth in steel production, and also major basic steel capacities have been created in places which are closer to the source of raw material, making us competitive. However, there are several challenges, and keeping that in view, I think very rightly central government has introduced a PLI scheme. Some other delegates have also pointed out the several challenges we are facing in that scheme, particularly from point of view of secondary steel producers and MSME, and I'm sure that whatever changes are needed and are possible will be done, so that that scheme can be beneficial to the secondary steel sector. Coming to Eastern India, particularly from Bihar, since 2005, there has been a radical change in Bihar in the way the state is managed, and the whole system of government is done. There has been rebuilding of the government in some ways, and also the whole infrastructure was created, mainly of roads, electricity, water. So we have really seen our demand growing extraordinarily. I think the demand of Bihar in 2005 would have been about 20,000 per month. Currently, our demand has grown to about 6 lakh per month. However, our production capacity has not grown at all, as it was shown in the presentation by the Additional Secretary of Steel. We are producing not even 15% of the steel that is being consumed in Bihar. So there is ample scope for growth of production capacity in Bihar. After formation of Jharkhand, there was a big setback that we lost all the mineral resources and all the major industries, and that was a setback for the steel industry also. That time industrial quality power was non-existent, which has been rebuilt. Currently, we are facing three main challenges, which are applicable not only to Bihar but largely to all over India. The first challenge is high cost of power. Second challenge, as pointed out by other delegates, is non-availability of raw material, particularly coal. Also, technology and trained manpower is in shortage. And the third challenge that we are seeing is lack of environmentally friendly fuel sources. Currently, whatever fuel sources we are using, going forward, this is planned in a way that we can shift away from them to the extent. We have also suggested one nation, one tariff for electricity to take care of that problem. All of you are aware that about 5 years ago there was a specific change in the ecosystem of the country by introduction of GST. That has really enabled us to address India as a single market and has provided opportunities for everyone. And also, it has leveled the playing field in some ways. Now, between states, if there are any differences left between units, except of course the management is the cost of raw material and the cost of power generation. So our suggestion is that if the one nation one tariff is implemented, then steel industry can go in leaps and bounds, and we can achieve the target of at least increasing our capacity by 10 times from the present level. That will enable India to become a large exporter also. Until then, we certainly request that in Bihar, power is provided at a rate that is competitive so that the industry can grow. In raw material, we have a suggestion that till recently, Steel Authority had a system of entering into annual MOUs for pig iron. I am a little surprised that this process is being continued for other suppliers like HR, but this has been continued for pig iron. And the entire production of pig iron is being sold to Europe. Now, that leads to a lot of problems for particularly MSME unit because prices fluctuate widely and no long-term planning. So we suggest that either this e-auction is discontinued and the process of a no use is followed for pig iron also. Alternatively, some railway rates may be reserved for MSME units, which can be given to registered associations which can distribute to their users. Also, we see a huge opportunity of establishing a steel cluster in any area that is bordering Jharkhand, maybe in Nalanda or Nevada, and we can provide the land required for it. However, that cluster will have to have a dedicated railway link and assured supply of raw material as well as an extension of BDC line so that that industrial cluster becomes viable. Thirdly, to ensure that going forward we are able to shift to environmentally friendly fuel, particularly for rear-rollers. Currently, the main source of fuel for rear-rollers is coal or furnace oil. However, if natural gas is made available, currently we believe the government is in a process of establishing natural gas pipelines, which is primarily targeted towards domestic users. So if that natural gas is made available, then we can shift to an environmentally friendly fuel and still remain competitive. Another point that we have noticed recently is that there is major speculative fluctuation in prices of steel. Recently, we have seen that prices have shot up by about 50%, and this is primarily happening because a lot of speculation is happening in commodity future exchange as well as by form of SMS. We will suggest that this is discontinued, and if there is no good solution, then we will suggest that the steel future should be banned by the government, so that the transaction that takes place on actual dealing and not on speculation. Another problem that we units are facing is that there is heavy delay in giving pollution clearances. Most of the time we see that the time taken for giving EP, environmental clearance and pollution clearance, is more than the time that is taken to establish this. So we will suggest that instead of giving EP clearance, the unit should be allowed to directly go to pollution control board so that the expedite thing, though they should not make any compromise on environment. But if we reduce the level, then I think new industry capacity as well as transit capacity can be created faster. Sometimes we have NGT orders which frankly do not seem to make sense. Like they have banned mining all over India in rainy season. While there are some places, particularly in eastern India, where they have too much sand and that is impeding the flow of the river. So if we can have some practical solution and if we have orders which are not resource-based, then it will be helpful. Last year, vision for 2047, we believe that India can be the biggest producer as well as the biggest exporter of value-added products all over the world. And given the growth we have seen in the past 25 years, and with the government proactive investment policy, I'm sure we can again increase our domestic market by about 10 times. The need is equitable distribution of iron ore, increase export duty on iron ore, and ensuring high quality of coal and coal. And lastly, we are sure that today's conference will be able to play a role in my profession. Thank you to everybody.
Thank you, sir. Steel is invariably one of the most important resources when it comes to constructing infrastructure for any country. However, steel also contributes substantially to all direct emissions to our environment, adding to the carbon footprint in our ecosystem. Needless to say, we have to address this issue with all the seriousness that it deserves. In this context, I now invite Shri R.P. Goyal from Maharashtra, representing Kalyani Steel Limited, to share his views in the matter. He would also be focusing on green steel and renewable energy. Can we have his presentation on screen, please?
Good morning, Honorable Minister of Steel, Shri Ramchandra Prasad Singh Ji, Minister of State for Steel and Rural Development, Shri Bhagat Singh Pulaski Ji, Minister of State MSME, Shri Bhalu Pradar Singh Ji Verma, our Steel Secretary, Shri Sanjay Singh Ji, Additional Secretary, officials of the Steel Ministry, fellow industrialists, and ladies and gentlemen. Taking inspiration from Prime Minister, Steel Ministry, our Honorable Minister, our company is working a lot for manufacturing green steel so that, first of all, our self-interest can be remain in business. The complete steel industry remains in business, and the commitments of the country, the Prime Minister, are honored. Next. Steel industry is one of the largest generators of carbon dioxide or greenhouse gases. In India, we generate almost 12% of total carbon dioxide as compared to globally 7%. Our total generation of carbon dioxide is far higher as compared to elsewhere in the Western countries or every other globe. Now, our goal is to limit global average temperature increase to 2 degrees centigrade, preferably 1.5 degrees centigrade in this century, and commitment which is given by the Honorable Prime Minister and the country to reduce greenhouse gases emission by 45% below 2005 level by 2030 and to be net zero by 2070. My presentation forward in this direction, particularly for the largest emitter of greenhouse gases by steel. Next. Now, there is a very serious need to do this, and stakes are very high. Jessica Madam has briefly mentioned in her opening speech, India exports almost $15 billion worth of automobile components. A major portion of that is manufactured by steel. Europe is already talking about carbon tax or carbon tariff ranging up to €100 per metric ton. Now, it's not only that, they will stop importing from India. So, our customers who are auto component manufacturers, they will find very difficult to export and will affect their business in terms of volume, in terms of profitability. And at the same time, if we look at the opportunity, there is a benefit that if we produce very same components by green steel, we may get an advantage of anything between 50 to 100 euro per ton or maybe more. As industry, we are roughly generating around 95 million tons of greenhouse gases currently, and we have a plan to almost double by 2030, so the emissions will definitely multiply. We also export almost 14 billion tons of steel, and this finished steel exports will also get affected when Western world becomes more particular about green steel, and we will find very difficult to export. Next. As far as current stimulus is concerned, we have two major routes to produce steel. One is starting from blast furnace, which requires coke oven, intermediate, pellet plant, BOF, and then subsequent secondary refining, rolling, and finishing facilities, which generates around 3 tons of carbon dioxide per ton of steel which is produced in the country. Next. Now, the 70% of total CO2 emission in the country is through this blast furnace, and balance almost 50% of steel which is produced by the secondary steel sector, which is electric arc furnace or induction furnace. They produce around 30%, even though in terms of the volume they are almost 45 to 50%. Next. Now, these are the plants which are largely scrap-based in EAF, and some scrap is also used in induction furnace and as well as DI. Now, these are the plants which are low-hanging fruits for converting them to green. Now, 70% of CO2 which is generated by these plants is from the electricity or electrical energy what these plants are using. Now, all this electricity is produced in India, almost 70-80% is through thermal coal, which is produced in the country or as well as imported into the country, and that's what CO2 we are generating. And it's a real low-hanging fruit where this can be converted very fast into RE, and at the same time we can reduce CO2 generation. Next. So, Vision 2047 is net zero emission from steel industry, coking coal and coke import dependent. As you all are aware, today India imports almost 90% of its coking coal or coke requirement and is highly dependent on various countries producing these products. We can become self-reliant in fossil fuel-based energy needs, and we can reduce the uses of carbon-bearing materials. Next. What is the way forward? Next. First of all, we eliminate fossil fuel from GAL and IEM group units, which is largely the secondary sector. And all this energy gets converted by RE. By this, we can achieve almost 80 to 90% of CO2 reduction, and we will require almost 33 gigawatt of RE power plants to be set up in the country. This is for the current level. It will definitely go up the way steel production goes up. Next. Now there are four parts. In the complete steel manufacturing process from BF and BF2, one is the energy, where we use thermal energy, but we can use the renewable energy. Second is in BF BF2, you have to convert iron ore into DRI. Now, how that can be done without using any carbon? It can be reduced by hydrogen. So next is step from RE to manufacturing of green hydrogen. Then from green hydrogen, converting iron ore to DRI, and then subsequent process in electric arc furnace, steel making or induction furnace. Now, in this, the technology for RE energy manufacturing is very well established. The technology for EM is very well established. Issues are large scale green hydrogen production and DRI from the use of hydrogen production. Now, there are significant R&D efforts which are required to do this globally. Lot of support is being given by governments, and we are participating with the private parties to do that. And recently there was a pilot plant in Sweden which produced 1 ton of DRI, 1 ton per hour of DRI with the help of hydrogen, and then converted into steel, which was used by Daimler and Volvo. But in very large research and development and establishment of process work is required. If we are able to do it, then almost 85 to 90% of CO2 gas emission will be done. Next. Now, India is a very, very large wasteland. At the same time, we have water reservoirs, we have backwaters, we have canals. Now, all these can be used to produce solar energy. Like already it has become prevalent in some places in Gujarat, on the canal, you put solar cells. Now we have wasteland, we have desert. Now if we have to produce 1,000 gigawatts of solar power, we will require only 3.5% of this area. That means we are not in short. We are not short of space as a country. Only thing is, it has to be produced in a land which is not utilized, the space which is not utilized, the water reservoirs or dams or backwaters, where we will have additional advantage of decrease in water evaporation, so we will save water. But this needs to be done. The challenge is in transmitting this power up to the steel plant. Next. Now, moving from here, you have to green hydrogen, DRI, and EF group. The immediate steps are we need to develop technology for large scale electrolyzers. Just to give you an idea, 180 ton per day green hydrogen is required for a 1 million ton plant. And this will be all green because you are producing from renewable power, you are producing hydrogen, and with this hydrogen, the basic raw material iron ore which is available in the country, convert into DRI, and then with the same electricity, convert it in an electric arc furnace system. So in the whole process, only element of carbon is the graphite electrode which is used in the electric arc furnace. And subsequent all the heating furnace and everything can be on RE, some investment will be required, which all the future Why they will be ready to do? I will just explain to you. So one part is these technologies are required to be developed. We have worked out what all it means, how we can do it, a complete roadmap for development. Second part is, as I had shown, electric arc furnace and all, where we can use scrap. This is a low-hanging fruit. It can be done immediately. Within 1 to 2 years, we can start producing this electric arc furnace or IM steel, which is very close to green steel. We are eliminating 85 to 90% of carbon dioxide. Next. Now, we have worked out that almost 800 crore is required to establish R&D facilities to develop the process of converting iron ore by hydrogen to green sponge iron. And that is this is not no well established in the world, but a lot of research is going on currently in Europe. And if we can start, it can be in public sector, it can be participation, or some support is required. If we can start doing this, then the biggest advantage is this technology we can make available to all the industries in the country, and everybody can use it. It's the public money to be used by the public, but technology it is developing now. We do not have to pay any royalty to any third party, and we all can do it very well. Next. The support required, like to convert EF or IF to produce green steel, is first of all the RE power is produced only few hours in a day. But we as a country are fortunate. Starting from east Meghalaya to west, we have almost 14 hours of sunlight every day, because it is 2 hours difference. So when people are sleeping in the west, Meghalaya is already producing solar power. So we have, but we can produce it all, but it will be at different locations. Now, what is really required? Like for a steel plant, it has to run continuously 24/7. Even though solar power is available 12 hours or 14 hours. So banking permission is required. That is number one. Number two, wheeling and transmission facilities are there, but then they are very expensive. So the moment this wheeling, transmission and taxes and duties which are charged now, if they are waived off, then the electricity and the doorstep of steel producer, secondary steel producer will be at 2.5 rupees as against 89 rupees currently. Now, typically 600 or 700 to 1000 units of electricity is used per ton of steel. So that industry will save almost 5,000 rupees. And this will make all of us much more competitive. One, we are reducing carbon dioxide. Number two, we become more competitive because today, most of the fellow industries, they make only 2,000 rupees per ton of steel as compared to integrated steel plants where the margins are very different. So it will help everybody. It's a win-win situation for all the people. It will definitely require much larger capital, basically for investment in the RE plant. So today, these funds are available, but it may not be the reach of most of the small people. So some coordination is required where these funds are available globally, which are at very low cost of interest. So this RE energy will further become cheaper. Next. This is one major challenge. So if we can take care of this, R&D facilities, banking facilities, and transmission, waiver of transmission and wheeling costs, this industry will become highly competitive. Next. Now, this will also bring another very large benefit. Next. Yeah. That with this 33 gigawatt of power which is required, it will call for an investment of 2 lakh crore. Now, all these solar panels, solar modules can be produced in the country. The technology is not visible. Now, if so 2 lakh crore just for steel industry, that too for 50% of the requirement comes here. How many more industries will get developed? All this MSME, we will have next of MSME to produce this 2 lakh crore worth of solar solar panels, solar modules, and to produce green energy. So it will generate very large employment. It will have a cascading effect of industrialization in the country. It will reduce greenhouse gases. So there are huge amount of benefits on this, and it is all doable. What I am talking is not theoretical. At the same time, the import of coking coal and thermal coal, which is around $20 billion, that import of this will go down. It can become technically zero. Once we are able to implement all this, then by doing this, in the secondary sector itself, almost 60 million tons of greenhouse gases, the reduction is possible. Now we have to take a small step, but in few years it is fully implementable and it can be achieved by everyone. Next. This will also help in saving forests of around, as I mentioned, in total around $20 billion. This will slowly, like the way Reliance has communicated, some other companies have communicated that cost of green hydrogen will come to $1 per ton. Then the total cost of steel production, even by integrated steel plant or secondary steel plant, will come down drastically. Next. Thank you, and we are very happy to contribute in any direction, whatever is required in further expanding this roadmap, and will be very happy to do whatever is required, and we will be very happy to participate in the R&D facilities, the complete blueprint, how the research can be carried out, what all equipment are required, who can supply this, and then yes, definitely support it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would now request Shri Vinod Kumar